Welcome to World of Ability. We are excited for offer today. There are so many people joining us. It's an overflow of excitement on my end. You know what though? Start things off today. I'm going to pass this over to my wonderful Kurt. I'm going to bring you in first and have you join the conversation right off the bat and lay the stage here. So Kurt, over to you.
Oh boy, I guess I get to lay the stage. That was suddenly Sue right there, and she brought it to me. Sue and I have been married for, it's going to be, what, Sue? We're up to 26 years coming up.
Let's see, quick math.
28, coming up to 28.
We're coming up to 28. Man, I can't count that high. Wait, has it actually been that long?
Yeah, you're in trouble if you don't know the real number, dude.
Did you notice Sue is kind of mind-bending too? It's like, wow.
At the moment, it's like, wait. A long time.
April 27th is the anniversary, folks. So mark your calendars and celebrate with us as we're celebrating right here at the World of Ability. What a phenomenal development in the journey with Sue and I, and then 14 years ago, coming up on 15 years ago with our daughter. We have really, last decade, quite an insurmountable opportunity. We are talking about our passion in water skiing. So this year our is celebrating 40 years of its existence. So Sue, you involved with that for about, let's call it 27 years, something like that, right? And
it'll be my 28th season, yep.
And this will be my 38th season. So there we go. And so when Sue joined the club, we already had an adaptive water ski program going that the ski club started. This will be the 28th annual event, I believe. I'm sorry, longer than that. It's more like 30, what do we want to call it? It's 30 some years, 36 years.
Somewhere in there.
Something. Yeah, so basically this ski club got us involved with, they got a sit ski, and this was inspired through a community organization called Adaptive Community Approach Program. And so this is an agency that serves adults with disabilities. And this is the agency that taught us about disability advocacy. We first got with them as ski bums. You know, I have fun to say this ski club recruited me through a poster that said, strong backs, weak minds needed. And here we go. So it's all about fun, hopefully. Hopefully you'll find it a little bit of fun. But with all these undertakings, what happened 10 years ago, we learned that our friends in the ski club a little more help in opening the floodgates wider for people with disabilities. And so my wife and daughter then sextuple the access to the sport of water skiing in 6 years. And that took us into this COVID era. And so now we're in post-COVID, and we're taking a look at, sure, the things that we do for life around the globe for people. That's with a B world that we try to defining and refining and giving the people with physical disabilities, those that are living in chronic pain, anyone with a mental health diagnosis, folks out there that have a goal of substance use reduction. Sounds a lot like social work, doesn't it, folks? It's about our social lives, society, the premises of sociology. How can we bridge the gap? How can we be bridge builders? Suzanne Plumley joined our network. She's got the Aspie Bridge Show. Just been doing it a few weeks. And this is a story about women with late diagnosis of Asperger's. And then looking at what they would like from us, those that aren't women with late diagnosis of Asperger's, how everything we could be doing with them, how it could work better under the terms of a woman with late diagnosis of Asperger's. That is an example. So that's what we do here, and we have met a ton of folks through the Happy Neighborhood Project. We have been plugged in with them here at the World of Ability Podcast Network since August 2020. And when I took a look at Edwin Edeberry, the Chief Happiness Officer, and he's talking about spreading happiness around the world, you know, my examination is, how are we doing spreading happiness to all the people around the world that are people with disabilities, our friends with disabilities, our fellow human beings with disabilities? And so that's what we're about here. We learn about thousands of people that network with us on the Zoom platform. And so we have a few of them here, Don and Marianne and Lion. And so you're going to hear from them. And then you're going to see how Sue, Emily, and I, we give it a little twist to say, Lion, it's amazing what you do. This is what we see it being for people with disabilities. Marianne, having been a sign language interpreter, is a sign language interpreter, but kind of doing stuff as an author and an app game developer. And Don is here, able to talk about the veteran community and everything he does in health. And now we can think about, how is all this being distributed? How are we as professionals doing stuff with professionals with disabilities? So my question that I always ask, what have you done? What are you doing now? And what will you be doing today with a professional with a disability? I take it to the level executive status. I want to look at presidents around the world. You know, we celebrate that in history been presidents with disabilities. Let's do more of that. Number is 33 folks at the ability. We want to rally the world. We want to rally the nation 33 times more in favorability to people with disabilities than what has ever been done in the history of humans. So in the realm of this revelation, do take it back.
Thank you so much, Kurt. You're amazing as always. He's so good with setting the stage and recapping of all the things. There's such a long journey of what led us from adaptive water skiing to here we are with the podcast on saying about the world of ability, right? So I actually want to go ahead and bring in, first of all, I think as our newbie of the day, I'm going to bring Lion in first to chat with us and talk a little bit more about what it is, what you do, and how that all relates to the world of ability. So Lion, give us a great introduction of who you are, and I'm so pleased to have you here joining us and sharing more about you. Pass it over to you.
Yes. Thank you so much. And this is like, how can I top that, Kurt? I don't know, but I'm gonna, just talk. But yeah, he does just make it so understand when he speaks, so concise, so everyone gets it. But yeah, so myself, Lion Flood, like the tidal wave, is the name. And a person at my heart who wants for people to do what they are at, because I know how to do something or I'm excited about something, it doesn't mean that they need to be as excited or they may do it as well. So that's why I love to take it slow and show people what I do, how I do it, but their pace, if that makes sense. I don't want to speed through it for someone, because what I eventually want to happen is for them to do it so well, someone else asks them, oh, hey, how did you do that? And then they say, oh, Lion showed me, or I worked with them. Right? But if it's too hard for them, they're never going to do it. And then my name never gets out. So I think that's how I look at it. Yeah. So, goodness. Yeah, and definitely ask me any more specific things. Is something that jump up at you, because I can talk forever and I don't want to do that.
Well, one thing I want to ask right away, on your screen, it shows redesign your life. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so that is my podcast.
Okay.
And it's out of necessity because my wife and I started a podcast during the pandemic, and then we just started to grow. As a matter of fact, it was so funny because we got one of those Facebook memories, and she sent it to me, and it was our very first episode. To see the very first episode compared to now, wow, that's changed. But your life was basically about people who would eventually have, I don't want to say would eventually, but people who had some of experience in their world and their life in which now they have to redesign things. They have to maybe learn to rewalk. They have to learn to re-talk. They need to, they've had some injury, something, and now they have to redesign their life, right? And that's where that came from. And it happened to me. I speak and tell people on my cast about how, some people can't see it, but on my hat, there's a symbol of a box, and then it has the word think. So I help people think outside the box, right? So we don't have to continue thinking the way society originally. I maybe need to, it's like people in school, not everyone learns how to take that test that way. Okay, fine. Think outside the box. Find a way that works for you. And that happened to me because you'll go through the mental ups and downs and depression is very, and then also 3 years ago in 2019, 3 or 4 years, whatever time frame, I was diagnosed with MS. I had to learn to design my life. I can't walk as far. I can't do a lot of things that I used to do, and that's been a process. And within that time frame, I said, other people are probably feeling this way. So let's talk. Let's just talk. I'm no therapist. I don't have any answers, but sometimes they don't need that. They just need to hear someone else's voice or have someone listen. That's where I came from.
Excellent. And actually, with what you said there's several things that are bouncing through my mind because so you've got the military background. We're real familiar with Brian Gibson with Project Die Hard. One of the things that he talks about a lot is sometimes it's you just need to be that ear. When we were going through the holidays, is the phrase that it still rings in my mind. Check your vet. Check in on your guys. Reach out. See how they're doing. And sometimes that's magic. It's just a matter of take that moment and reach out and see. That sometimes is all it takes to make that connection be. And the entire thing of Project Die Hard, hope for veterans. That's all about, because we all, the whole idea of veterans and the concept of suicide is way too common, and somebody needs to step up and make a difference, right? So piece of what Project Die Hard is to be there and to be the ear and to be the resource. And I'm hearing a lot of that in what you do as well. It's like, you got to actually take those steps. You got to not be afraid to reach out and to be able to talk to somebody, whoever it is. It's okay to reach out. It's a good thing to do. And I kind of tap into what you were saying too about it's ironic. We actually have a number of friends that are in a similar scenario. Have you heard about the 12 o'clock shakedown? I don't know if that's something that's crossed you yet. So I'm going to take a moment and tell you guys about the 12 o'clock shakedown because it is an open invitation. Anybody who wants to connect, actually 12 o'clock Central, because I'm going to be in the Milwaukee area here, and a friend of ours who happens to have MS, when the pandemic hit, from his normal everyday activity to all of a sudden, crap, he's at home and not having that activity, and that was actually making a negative impact on ability. So he said, hey, I got to do something about this. He happens to be a guy who also does drum circles. So he's very much into percussion and does a lot with that. So he came up with the shakedown, which is literally you make shakers and you shake something. And he does, it's 15 minutes of music in motion. And maybe that commitment at 12 o'clock noon, we're going to get online, we're going to get together just like what we are right now in this. And then he would also have it live streaming out to the Facebook group. It is 15 minutes of music in motion, and it's easy. So it's not difficult moves. It's do what you can, however you can. You can match what you do your own thing. It doesn't really matter, but it's an excuse to get together. So we got the social time, right? And we got the motion going on. So we're movement just because it does a body good, right? So we still at this point now, we are at a point where he is back to his normal routines and being busy enough that adding that into it is too much activity because in -2, right? So
Yes.
we are still there for the last, I think, about a year and a half now. I've been through, and so I do it for my office at work. And people know if my door's going to be 15 minutes at noon, and if you look in, you're going to be, you can either come up and stand out there and make goofy faces. I don't really care. 15 minutes of music in motion is what we're doing. And there's a group of us that get together every day. Mark is one of the guys that comes on there, and he changes his background every day and has whatever the national whatever it is of the day is on his background. And Mark will tell us all the national goofy holidays going on, but anything from the ones that we all celebrate to things we've never heard of. And since we're also doing music things, he has musician birthdays on there as well, and it's fun. And it's at the end, sometimes we stick around for a while and do a little bit of shakedown social time too. So it kind of you're talking about with connecting with people, and for us to have motion, extra movement going on each day, it's fun. So we literally do that every day. It's available, and we love sharing that out there. So it's out there. Sometimes people come on once, sometimes, and then they come back every day, and it all just depends on what people's availability is, but it's always there. And the replays on Facebook, so if people can't do it right at noon because that time doesn't work, it's still available for people to go back and listen to and do it on their own time frame too. So I appreciate the opportunity to share that out there and make sure people know that that's out there and it's available.
Very good. Yeah, that's amazing. And it's just those little things that we can spread out to people, because if someone doesn't know, then they don't know, right? If we don't tell them, we don't share it, someone else doesn't say, hey, this is happening, that can be that one moment that changes that day. Even if we don't go to work, they like, oh, wow, I've been wanting something like that. I've been wanting to find something like that. So I tell people all the time, share what you do. Tell the world what you do. Don't be scared. Someone says, well, what if my family doesn't like it? Then they don't have to join it. What if someone looks at me like I'm weird? They're already looking at you like you're weird. It's not telling you. So just do it. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. Honestly, I relate to that a lot. When I first was like, wait, I'm gonna lead this. I don't know if I can do this. And now it's like, no, really, come on, have some fun with this. Let's go. Because here, I'm actually gonna just pop this up and share the screen for just a second here on Facebook. The group, there it is, the 12 o'clock shake. There's a part at the beginning here. How do you make your own shaker? If you don't have something to shake anything, I'm literally just shaking my fist. But here you go. That was our national holidays today. National Cheese Lovers Day, National DJ Day, Penguin Day. There's all sorts of things just to keep life upbeat and fun. And okay, my favorite, International Day of Acceptance. You can see that the National Day of Acceptance. So accepting everybody, no matter ability. That was today. That's, to me, is huge. Here we go. This is actually the shakedown. There's a quick little demo of us doing it. Simple move. And actually, it's on the screen at the same time today. That rarely happens. Oop. So that's simple. It's fun, and everyone's invited. So the more we can get the word out, the more people that can come on there, the better. So thank you for the excuse to talk about it.
Not a problem.
Keep on working with Kurt on his rhythm.
Yes,
So if you guys ever interested, can ask us for the Zoom link. Otherwise, there's we do it every day. live streaming it to Facebook, so I always go back there to see any of the streams at any particular day, right at noon Central, 1 Eastern, so, or 10 Pacific for everybody here. So just wanted to put that up there for anybody.
Fun. That who doesn't want to have fun? And honestly, I gotta say, there's some days where I'm looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to do this right now. I'm in the middle of something. And then as soon as I get going on it, you know, I have more energy afterwards. I am so freaking happy doing it every day because, you know, it just depends on your timing, right? So in the middle of something and you don't want to take time out to do this. I am so glad I do. And I also want to say, a couple of different times, I tend to get migraines. I think it's my neck that gets out of whack, and it happens. And there have been that just that bit of movement has made the difference where whatever it is that was goofy, it's realigned. And by the time it's done, I'm feeling better. And oh my gosh, what a difference it's made. And
Yeah, it's up to the health and wellness guy.
I do actually. You know, so actually, Don, can I bring you here as well? If you want to take a few moments to introduce yourself, bring Marianne back in here as well and get this conversation bigger with all of us. Don, you can introduce yourself here.
Oh my God, I can't outdo does what she is though. I don't know what to say about that.
So Emily, would you like to introduce Don?
Okay, so Don Crumlin is a veteran in this industry out in California. But she met him and I and Marianne. Everybody's on here right now for the Happy Neighborhood Project. So, Don, I'm going to hand it over to you. You'd like to. What you do.
Thank you so much for that heartfelt introduction. Yes, I'm in California, but I serve. And I've been to most of the world, actually. That is one of the blessings that happened all of the time that I spent in the military. But it's top secret clearance for my entire military experience, so they can't talk about. But I did enjoy going around the world, even though I didn't get a choice of locations I got to go to. Every place was an adventure, and every adventure turned into something positive based on how you were with your attitude. And that's what I see in this group with these throughout all of the HNP actually. So thank you, Sue, for all that you do. You have a fun in all of what you do. So I can understand your level of success with everything that you seem to get involved in. And thank you for inviting me and letting me be a small part of it. Whatever measure I might be able to contribute. Yeah, on the help area, one of the you just reminded me of is how I am able to help bridge the communication understanding between what your health say to you and what that translates into in order for you to actually turn that into a more positive experience. And I'll give you an example. Sometimes most of us are aware that most females, as they get more chronologically challenged, are susceptible to an osteoporosis. And the care professional, the doctor, whatever, will prescribe concentrated calcium. Well, they give you that, you're out the boom, you have a little quick consultation with the sister, you're gone. And nobody takes the time these days to explain to you that the rest of the story is that in order for your body to absorb that extra calcium and put it to use where it's supposed to go, you have to now start participating and that sort of thing, so that it triggers your body to understand that, whoa, I'm getting some more stress on my bones, and here I've got this extra calcium going on. I need to put that where it go in order for it to do its versus you get the prescription prescription, you take the extra calcium and it just passes you because you don't know what else you're supposed to do in order to make that work for you and cause positive difference in your life. And so that's where, to help people understand, okay, here's what to do in order to turn that into a positive story. You've got a little something going on in the back of your neck. Maybe after conversation, we talk about what experienced, what triggers it, what you've been through, what the healthcare professionals already told you. I might be able to help you. One of the things I'll give you about my background that helps me be able to do that is not only do I have the certification with health and wellness as my undergraduate, and for 16 years, I was the senior quality advisor for the Medi-Cal account for all of California. So I worked shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow with the top doctors and nurses in the entire state for every malady under the sun. So I've seen an awful lot, and I understand the science behind it because of my educational background as well. I can often connect the dots and help people understand what you do in order to turn that into your new positive story going forward. So that's what I would have to say about that. And thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, because that is a really unique background. There are very few people who just said that with that kind of between the military service that you've had and what your experience has been there, and then with combining that with that fits into the medical world like that. That says a lot.
You also reminded me of the military piece with regard to the fitness side of thing. When I was a section chief at the Numbered Air Force, and Whaley was a commander at the time, we were losing about a half dozen people per year that were going room temperature because they would drive desk for 364-day year and then would try and get out on the track and gut it out to try and pass their fitness. That wasn't working. General Whaley came into my and said, you're one of those fitness nuts. Fix this or else. So I was highly motivated, and I looked at everything. Went around and visited all of the fitness, all 4 of the services, not just the Air Force, and new redesign that involved not just the run, walk, but calisthenics, body measurement, body fat content measurement. I added the piece of nutrition along with the exercise because you can't outwork a bad diet, and came up new program for how the fitness program going forward for the military, and each branch of the service fine-tuned it to their requirements and their needs. So that was another little piece that I was able to make a contribution to. So I added things as well. And these are motivated. They wanted to stay active. They wanted to stay worldwide deployable, etc., in order to maintain their military status in uniform.
It's huge, and sometimes people don't know what they don't know, right? It's like what you were even saying, that it's like, I work out so I can eat whatever I want. Sounds good. Quite how that works. So
yeah, that's how I got that title.
Oh, I love that. So, well, I know we do have Marianne. I want to have her come on in and are you there? And tell us here so that we can hear more about you. We know you. We love you. Remind everybody who you are, please.
Having too much fun in Hawaii.
No.
Mahalo plenty. Mahalo plenty.
Well, aloha. I'm Mariana Waikiki. I'm the author of the Acts of Kindness series, featuring 200 folk man as puppets. My books are written for animation movies with sign language soundtrack by local artists in the perfect way. And that was me in Hawaii. I'm in Mexico now. with my friend who that same sailboat who sailed from Alaska to Canada. I joined him in San Diego, and we sailed down to Cabo, and he brought the boat over here to San Carlos, Mexico, where we currently are. And I'm writing a book called Cool Acts of Kindness for Change. So it's whale watching season, and the book is about Noah, humpback whales that comes down on a Hawaiian vacation, and they have a glow in the dark party, and he gets injured by a black speedboat and loses his hearing, has to get rehabilitated at the ship with a hermit crab named Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab. And through his he learns the finger spelling alphabet with a angelfish interpreter named Angelina. And I miss wearing those Hawaiian leis there. And he is recruited by a sea turtle, Don, called the General of the New Earth Army. He's a physical therapist.
I love the way you use critters to help tell your stories.
Thank you. And the General recruits Noah to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in Hawaii and California. They recruit other sea creatures to do that. Now, in 1990, Captain Moore was sailing a Pacific sailboat race, which happens from California to the island of Oahu, Hawaii, Waikiki Yacht Club. And he sailed through the soupy mess and realized that this garbage patch was just full of plastics and diapers, containers, straws, every kind, and it was miles wide, miles deep. And up to date, there was a young man when he was 19 in Europe, Boynton Slat, who was out swimming on a vacation and realized that there was more plastics in the ocean than fish. So he has come up with some solutions, especially a machine, a very large machine called Jenny that kind of circulates around these garbage packs and is like a big vacuum and sucks up the plastics worldwide. And he's been doing it for over a decade. And you can visit oceancleanup.com and see the amazing places that he's been. The awe that he sees. I saw the Guadalajara River that is just plastics and cups. There's no water. And what he's doing to make these machines and people going out to work and doing that and cleanup. So we just dedicated that book to him, my book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, my book to Boynton Slat. Dedication also to with Clean Water Foundation, Leanne McLaughlin, who's our speaker here. And he brings filters to worldwide, 40 countries, schools, clinics, hospitals. And we're really excited to partner with him for our sequel book called Cool Acts of Kindness for Climate Change. And actually today is National Penguin Day. And this book is going to feature a whale who has a robotic friend, a puppet with a heart, named me, who will be a water filter distributor. And as you can see, the front of icebergs, we have a bear. This is Brittany, the bye-bye polar bear, who signs bye-bye to during this climate change. And up on top there is Mr. Penman, the penguin. And his job is to make sure that people send letters for Greenpeace movement to write letters and change activism. And we have a funny bird, and it's going to be Greta Thunberg for a young lady over in Europe who's a climate change activist. So I'm really excited to start co-writer Suzanne Sim, and we're going to be partnering with Leanne McLaughlin Clean Water Foundation. And last month I got to sail San Carlos, Mexico, Mazatlan. That was a great trip, and the ocean's clean, saw sea creatures, whales, and just great to see the ocean is being cleaned up. So behind here is Marina Real. This is a beautiful marina here in San Carlos, Mexico, where the captain has docked his boat. We found our new home. Look at that. It looks like blue Hawaii, but this is San Carlos, Mexico beach. So we're living the dream. We relocated, but we are working, and so glad to be here, Ali. And I just wanted to share my story too. This is Scott. I interpreted for him for over a decade in Honolulu. He has moved to San Diego, and he got certified as a veterinary assistant. And he's also has worked with autistic children, and he's also working with dementia patients. So the world of ability is just amazing. I was eyes in his ears, and it was a great joy to do that. And Don, I got to sign with the Air Force Band. We got to go around that island entertaining with the puppets, music, sunshine and laughter, the aloha spirit. We want to bring these books into animation movies. So we're looking forward to, again, working with Leanne McLaughlin, Clean Water Foundation, and Suzanne Sims. And Lucy has an amazing album out. Sue played it last week with the new soundtrack to Love is the Only Way. And it's going to be great fun sitting here this so-called winter here in Mexico, writing the books with Suzanne, who's in Guadalajara. So we shift the happiness back to you. And it is a great feeling. I talk about hearing loss. We have 500 million people worldwide, military moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. And these are books I envision to bring these into animation movies with these signing characters, because it's for all ages of the heart. And persons with ringing in the ears or vertigo, there is solutions out there, practitioners out there, especially chiropractor treatment for cervical. I have been vertigo free for over 2 years now by just concentrating on the upper cervical part. And that was Dr. Joe Brewer in Honolulu, Hawaii. So it accepted my insurance. Tinnitus ringing in the ears, you can change your diet, Don, by eliminating the sugars, the salt, the sodium, the nicotine, caffeine, sulfates, and wines. And, those cup of noodle soups was brought up. That's just like drinking a cup of salt. And I know everybody's hungry, but if we can make conscious choices, that's going to prevent the ringing in the ears and make communication better, our mental health better. And we're also grateful for Leanne McLaughlin, because he's bringing these filters worldwide to eliminate the arsenics out of the waters that we have. And we just got updated too with information that they are starting to talk about. There's more microplastics in water now than in tap water. So they're suggesting
that's a huge problem that people don't know the rest of the story about. And other things you mentioned, that's one of the reasons why I got the moniker of the fun food Grinch, because there's so many things that I understand in the chemistry and the chemicals behind what's in those processed foods and fast foods, et cetera, that are in most people's normal diet, because only are guided by what they see in commercials. And an awful lot of that stuff is absolutely horrific for your actual health and benefit. It may seem fun for in the comedy club to say, well, at my age, I need all the preservatives I can get, but that's not the way your body works. So thank you for what you do to help educate people in that.
Yes, it's going to be great fun. So we're going to be having some sales and marketing meeting with some people from Kraft Foods and Kellogg's cereals, according to Leanne. So you never know, you may see these characters on a helpful cereal box or some sort of product that way. But sign language characters and learning finger spelling is just another way for great family fun. And again, it's for all ages of fun. How cool is that?
Love it. Love what you do, Marianne. It's always so much fun to hear of your adventures and all of the good things that you're doing, and to think that you're near a beach. I'm looking outside and I'm seeing snow, and we've had this massive cold snap through here. I think like 13 degrees right now out there. It's actually warm quite a bit. So we're a little chilly up here in Wisconsin, but it's all about perspective, right? Next week is supposed to be in the 30s, and I'm looking forward to that warmth. I want to go water skiing. That's a little ways off yet, isn't it? But it's kind of love it. That beach is gorgeous. I really would love to go for a walk on that right now.
Oh, it was gorgeous yesterday. So peaceful, and not a lot of people are here, and great, really nice marina, and we're safe and secure so that we can work. And I forgot to tell you too. I forgot to tell Leon. I have a neighbor here next to me that's here temporarily. He's working at a water treatment plant, and he's real happy with the success because they're changing some of the water treatment with the sardines down at the water plant down there in a different city out of San Carlos. It's called Guaymas. So not only are they taking care of us, they're taking care of the fish that we are eating. So that's good information to share on the world today. And happy day.
Happy Penguin Day. I love that. Penguins are awesome. They're fun. And again, I only know because of the shakedown earlier today that came up, that it's National Penguin Day. It's probably international, actually. So thank you so much for sharing all that. And, we talk a lot about how people are even like mentally. Where we're at right now. I'm talking how it's been so cold here. We're all stuck inside right now a lot because of that. One thing that we've done for the last, what did we say now? I think this is our 26th annual event that we're doing. Festivus. Why did we choose to do Festivus in February? We actually did that on purpose because, we all have in the fall, into the winter time here, we're looking forward to the holidays. We got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got New Year's. Yeah, because I know around here, our next big thing we're looking forward to is when it gets warm out, with spring, summer coming. There's this big gap. We're like, okay, we're at home. We don't really get out all that much. We decided that, first full weekend in February, that ends up being a time where, okay, it still gives people something to look forward to. It's still kind of the dead of winter around here, but we're going to get out. We're going to have some fun. And that's what it's about. We started it, it actually was, we started out being just a single day. For a while, it was a Saturday. Sometimes it was a Friday night. For years, we just did a one on a day. And then we had people that were like, oh, I can't make that day. We honestly said, screw you guys. We're going to make it the whole weekend. You got to show up at some point. You're not busy the entire week, are you? So we made it into this full weekend event that's going from Friday late afternoon until sometime late Sunday night. That's what we turned it into, saying, hey, you show up at some point, even if it's a little while. It's open house style, and it's an excuse to have some fun. And I'm actually going to share my screen for a moment here. We made a website that has all of the info. It's the first time that we've made a website, so kind of it actually. It's not a big thing, but it's a way to get the word out. Festivus for the rest of us. Plays from 5 o'clock Friday till 8 o'clock Sunday, and we got the countdown. We're only 13 days away at this point. Where did Festivus come from? If anyone's a Seinfeld fan, from back in the 90s that Seinfeld was so big, one of the episodes had you can see the character right there. I can hear him right now. I got a lot of problem with you people. That's one of his quotes from that day. It's a goofy excuse for what they did. He didn't like Christmas. There was so much that had to do with that. He ended up, I'm not going to give away the whole episode. Go look it up. It's an easy one to find. You just Google Festivus Seinfeld. You will find the episode. You can see it for yourself. It had all sorts of quirky things going on, and we know quirky things going on. Again, an excuse to have. We play games all weekend. People are welcome here for supper. We're gonna have games all evening on Friday. Saturday we get up. We have some people stay here, some people stay nearby. Some of the friends are nearby. We're gonna have everything on Zoom as well, so you can join from wherever. We'll do our 12 o'clock shakedown. Scavenger hunt. That has become a big fun thing that we do. We will mix everybody up who's here, and you're in a car with your phone with a list. You go out and take pictures of whatever the topics are on there. There'll be like 20 or 25 different things to include your team in the picture of. later on that evening, we'll have the judging of the pictures. Oh my gosh. That if you need to have a good laugh, that's where you need to be. Usually the goofiest, funniest picture in the end will be the winner. And it is fun. And again, we're going to have that on Zoom, so it'll be easy to participate from wherever you are. Our daughter was supposed to be born in March, like March 22nd, I think her due date was. She showed up on that Friday of Festivus. So she is our Festivus miracle. She's going to have her birthday party going on that week as well, having some friends over. So yeah, she was 6 weeks early. I don't recommend that. She was in the hospital for like 3 weeks. It's all good. She's got everything going for her. She's amazing. But she's on the 6th, actually. But we're going to celebrate her over the weekend. And then it's just games. Games and more games. All day Sunday, that's what we'll be doing. We're here doing World of Ability podcast. We're going to be doing that weekend as well. So while the crew is out doing the scavenger hunt, those that can't do the hunt can be on here with me. We will have the going on. And actually, Don, hand up. You want to go ahead?
You reminded me of a number of things. Going to point out you were having trouble finding some things in February. February is Black History Month. Kwanzaa, which is a celebration of African heritage, but is open to everyone, gives you the link between Christmas and New Year's, and there's a celebration every day for each different concept: self-determination, creativity, music, food, all of those things, family, fun, laughter. In terms of the things that are always interesting to find, African American Black History Month is, for example, the coupling mechanism between railroad cars. This was an invention by the modern traffic light, the modern gas mask. Before there was 4G and 5G, there was 1G and 2G. That was invented by African Americans. The first gaming system. One of my favorites, what was originally called the oil cup system. In the old days, they had to take it all the way apart and re-clean it and re-oil it in order to lubricate it. Now we have an oil pan in pretty much every vehicle, new electric ones. And there should be a billionaire named McCoy, because Elijah McCoy was the inventor of that. When people came to take advantage of that invention, just like with gas masks, they were so outraged that the inventor that they left without taking advantage of that invention, and they had so many failures that the saying, "Is this the real McCoy?" So that's where that
came from.
That's where that came from. So I noticed that Kurt is deeply involved in a new book that he read called Mint, that is an emotional journey for a young African-American female. And so I thought that I would share some of these highlights. The French architect that designed Washington, D.C. Got in an argument with the government officials and left and went back to France in a huff. The black with him from Murray redrew all architectural drawings, and that's how we have Washington, D.C. So there's a lot of fascinating things you can learn about that sort of thing that can for downtime in the early parts of February. So there you go.
Thank you for all of the information. I learned a couple things today.
Oh, I learned a lot. I didn't know any of. Thank you for sharing.
Wow. The Tuskegee Airmen were too. They were given they never lost a single bomber, and there was the two major movies that were made about. One was the Tuskegee Airmen, and the other one was called Red Tails. That tells the story of how that came about, because there was a lot of fighting to prevent African Americans from even becoming pilots, because they did not feel that they had the intellectual acuity and the dexterity to be able to successfully operate fighter planes. So lots of stuff to enjoy in your learning process.
Wow.
I got Lion smiling.
This world has grown so much and has, thank God, realized the history. It's amazing to me when you relay that to me, that there has been such a history of judgment and I mean, thinking about the real McCoy, that is where that came from. There's so many levels of oh my God involved in that whole conversation. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Glad to be of service.
Well, I want a conversation. Let me finish just whipping through this website here just so you guys know what's all available. And we do have, with that weekend, then I'm going to go back up here on Saturday night, we'll have a potluck supper. As everybody's coming back from the scavenger hunt, so we end up putting together a big meal. And this year we tried to make it easy because everyone's always wondering, how do we do this? What's going on? So we threw that in there. This takes you to sign up. Make it real easy on yourself and just click on there, sign up for something, and then we'll have all the bases covered. Super easy. Scavenger hunt sign up. We're going to try to get the teams kind of situated ahead of time this year, which we've never done before. It's always come around noon, and we will get the teams when everybody gets here. But if we know who's all coming, that'll even make it faster because it takes a little bit to shuffle everybody because we do try to split up families as much as we can just to try to keep it fair because we got a couple guys who are ringers. And if those two guys end up on the same team, the rest of us are screwed. So they're awesome. They're amazing. And unfair advantage. So just a picture of us sitting around our dining room playing games. We got Kramer in the background there overseeing all the fun. This is one of the pictures from the hunt last year that every time I look at it, it makes me giggle because that's just too much. So that gives you an idea. That was one of the winning pictures last year, and you can imagine. I need to actually dig back and find out what the topic was for that picture because that I don't remember. I just know I giggle every time I see that. But this is our fun crew here, fam. We do this because it's fun, and we had fun years that day when we were doing that. Dogs getting into it and everything.
Love the family photos.
Oh yeah, we don't do enough with all of us. We actually have one that's kind of a decent one with all four of us. That never happens. It's on here, and that's it. It's our weekend of let's have some fun. We don't get together with friends often enough. We get together with our crew here, like you guys, and I absolutely the time that we spend together. And we've got friends locally here that, you know what, time. Do you guys ever find that you get so busy doing life that you don't get together with your friends often enough and just an excuse to do it, right?
I noticed in my house, the dog steals the show.
Oh my gosh, always.
Yeah, I saw Crystal a little bit ago here. Trying to be on camera.
Hi, everybody. You can see I'm in my seat. I'm at the pool. It's
too.
Sunny. It's fun. I had a morning where I thought, I don't know if I've ever been this happy before. I was so appreciating. I got to go to the ocean and go swimming in the ocean this morning and got to chat with my passionate friends that, and that's like a form of prayer where just for 2 hours, you can focus until you start bringing out. It's really so important in your life that you come to world peace, and you come to, really trying to throw off all the things that keep you from really opening your mind and your heart, having a better future. Other things that we think poverty consciousness, I don't have, I'm not smart enough, I'm not, you're just trying to let that go and really care about the world around you and believe in those big dreams. So, I'm still going for the one where my friend from Palestine create a community, in the Middle East together that could be Arab, Israeli, black, white, just like people need to learn how to love each other, right? Whatever gender, what animals and children are safe because we're smart now, and we know how to do that. And we know how to make land fertile that's not fertile. We have so much intelligence into starting it and building together. And it's when I'm thinking, oh, like I'm too old, it's too cold, I can't do it, I'm too weak, all the fears come up, and I'm just telling myself, okay, this is a wall that's in front of me, and I'm going to break through it. And there's going to be a wider expanse on the other side.
That bleeding shows you're not too old.
Really, I'm going to be 75 pretty soon. And it's just amazing because my body is still like a little kid. Like I'm waking up.
You're still rocking that bikini.
Thank you. And I tell you, I was waking up every hour on the hour looking at the time. And I said, my mind is saying, I can't do this. It's too hard. I'm too old. And my body was going, is it time to go yet? Is it time to go? Right? And yeah, I'm listening to that.
Well, the wellness guy loves to hear that sort of thing.
Yeah, thank you.
And I hear Marianne's voice in my head too saying, it's time to go out and play.
Yeah. And I want to know, like, okay, so any teacher, like Google's Donors Choose, and then the teacher has to come up with the money for the products. Is that how it's working?
Actually, I don't know if Marianne will talk on that, or I can too, because if you go to donorschoose.org, teachers can sign up on there, and then anybody, anywhere, the projects they see on there and donate money towards it. So it's a way, it's kind of a, I don't know if I want to call it crowdfunding exactly, but it's a way, because teachers' budgets are pretty limited. They don't
especially in Florida.
Oh yeah, I know so many teachers that actually spend money out of their own pocket to make things happen in their classrooms.
I did that.
It's a way for others to be able to help contribute to that, so that it doesn't have to come out of the teachers' pockets, because it's all of our kids, it's all of us that that are able to help and make that difference. It's just a mechanism for that to happen. And people are putting the money directly towards, like, for example, Marianne's books that are available like that. It's a way to donate towards that and get that project funded.
Yeah, and the project for ocean cleanup. And I really want to put out the thought that every child that's alive is our children. It takes a world to raise children. Be secure and feeling loved and feeling part of, something beautiful on the planet. So that's, I want to keep working towards that.
Praying for you, Barbara. Florida's not very friendly toward teachers and books.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. I had to fundraise my students.
Amazing. I'm grateful that there is such a thing that exists, that there is that mechanism to help make that be an easier thing.
2 different jobs, but one job was great because I was working with people under the umbrella, and I don't know, where they were saying mental retardation, and I got the delinquent youth together with that group of people, and it was beautiful to see, because these kids couldn't feel so sorry for themselves anymore, and they got to take the Victory Go-Kart ride, because Victory Living guys would be trying to jump the borders, the boundaries, and it was so beautiful to see what everybody had to give each other. And it's funny, I had angels with me because I took the Nolan OU private school kids to play, and every single time I bowled, I was getting strikes, and these kids would say, why can you do that? And I'd say, because usually I go with the Victory Living guys, and they criticize. They're always like, wow, you almost got that down the alley. That was awesome. I said, yeah, I learned to both guys. And No, it was good. It was good messages. You know, there was love. We had one who had cerebral palsy, had victory living, and we had one who had cerebral palsy at school. And to watch those guys constantly encourage each other, love each other, was like, there's a lot to say about getting people together.
Barbara, my calendar link is in the chat area. It'd be nice to connect with you. Some wonderful ideas going on there.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm going to go there now.
Thank you.
Excellent. So, I see Marianne. Yes, I see that at the very end here. I would love to play that. The Only Way. I love that song. I will go look that up. Don, I'm going to throw it back your way here. We've talked a lot about a lot of different things today. I'm just kind of curious what's at the top of your mind, and as you think about all these things. At World of Ability, every week we never know exactly how that conversation is going to end up, and this has been, to me, I think has been very fun and enlightening in so many ways.
I am feeling very fulfilled and blessed to have to interface with you guys on this podcast and this weekend, and I've learned a lot too from a lot of the participants as well. I think it's wonderful. You're doing the water with the physically challenged, and I've seen snow skiing with theme in mind, but I haven't seen water sports like that, and yet I think it's a wonderful idea because of the therapeutic attributes of water as well, and along with the exhilaration that people have when they get to play, that people that don't do that on a regular basis don't necessarily understand how interesting that and invigorating. Swimming and water sports are one of the exercises that uses all of the muscles in the body, and you have the cocoon-like feeling of being embraced by an atmosphere and environment that you can actually feel doing things to you all the time that you're doing something in the water. So I was very fortunate to learn how to swim at a young age, and so but I'm a sinker, and you guys in the water understand that. And I don't have any buoyancy, so I have to be a good swimmer because I can say I had a when I was in college, I had a roommate that was a scuba diving instructor, and he said, "You don't even need a weight belt. Yours is just decoration."
Wow. So I'm glad you can swim. And if you've never, did you say you've never seen the adaptive water skiing before?
I've not. I've seen snow skiing of that kind, but I'd love to see the water skiing equivalent. That would be really cool. That's just awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so it's called a sit ski. It's something sort of like a cage isn't the right word, but they sit down in it.
Yeah, look at the great teamwork that's involved too.
So this picture actually is a good friend of ours. It's actually in the sit ski. And your piece that he sits in it's a metal frame with a bunch of padding on it, and I think it's a bad word for it, but the equipment is called a cage. That's the piece you sit in, and then that's attached to the ski at the bottom here. And then there's two skis. I don't know if you can see where my pointer is here. There's one here and one here, and those are called outriggers. And that's basically so at the ski tips right or left a little bit. It's kind of like training wheels where
right.
it keeps it very centered.
And maintains the buoyancy. I got you. Very good.
And it's actually a competitive sport. There are people out there that will take, without outriggers, they can be actually very aggressive skiers and can cut back and forth just like stand-up skiers can. They take those over the jump. They do all sorts of different things that are possible with that type of equipment. And that you can see the person on the boat there, as you're skiing like this, that rope is actually attached to the ski.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks like the ladies that are facilitating are very skilled and athletic as well.
Well, I'll give myself a pat on the back because I'm the one on the right, and then a friend of ours is on the left. We do this all summer. We enjoy it. The guy in the crazy orange hat, that's actually Kurt's hat. So we know that's him in the boat. His job actually is safety. So if any of the three of us were to fall for whatever reason, his job is to release the pin out, which lets the ropes all go in the water, and we stay as a unit. So the three of us, that's actually how we land too. So we are grabbing on right now because we are just pulling up to the dock and yell 1, 2, 3, and then nod the head. When the spotter sees the head nod, they pull the release, and then we all land as a unit and swim out and help us get all the equipment in. But that is something we do all summer long and absolutely love it. This is the ski we have with our team. It's not as nice of a ski as the other one that we're using down at with the Lindsay Legis Free Water Ski Club. That one have the ropes attached like this, but just the way this one's constructed, at least this gives us the ability to keep the ski kind of in the middle of the wake behind the boat. The ski that we use down in Burlington is set up a little differently, and we can actually reach in and maneuver it by hand instead of by the ropes like that. Definitely an improvement. And I look like I've got the worst look on my face there. I'm sure I'm yelling 1, 2, 3 at that moment. But that's how it works. We're hanging on because we're just coming in for a landing. And a good friend of ours from another ski club that skis with us a lot. And Molly is in the sit ski. She's with us multiple times. She's a sweetheart. Love her. She's come out quite a bit and loves all the fun with us too. Yeah, I'm wearing a costume there, so it makes it look really goofy, but that's part of show skiing, right? They got actually so here. I think we switched into water ski land now. So we ski with a show ski team, actually. And that's what got us into doing this. Actually, here we go. We got a few more of adaptive skiing here. That's Chad again. That's us taking off. So a deep water start, we sit next to on either side our safety as well. So it's kind of fun to know that as you're out there as an adaptive skier and you've never done this before, you've got somebody with you on each side to be with you and enjoy all that as well.
So was that you on top showing off?
Yeah. Here, if you want me to show off, this is my favorite picture. That's actually me right here. In the middle of the pyramid. So that's our summer fun. I haven't actually been climbing in the four highs much anymore. I'm finally hitting that point of let the younger ones do that. I think I can still do that, but I'm 52, so I've hit that bit of, joints don't like me as much as they used to. I don't maneuver quite as easily as I did back in the day, but I still.
We're back to talk to the health and wellness guy again to help you with that.
I actually, that would be amazing. We need to talk more. Because I'm not done skiing yet.
Yeah, I can give you some resistance work and some flexibility work that will help you with that. There are certain exercises that facilitate that so that you can continue to do that sort of thing well into your chronologically challenged days. And you're not there yet. So we just need to put a touch on the wheel and help you with a few things. And you'll be back to showing them young whippersnappers how it's done.
Whippersnappers.
You too, Barb.
Really, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We say there's no limit, right? It's what do you want to do? Figure out ways to make it happen. Because I feel like skiing has kept me young in many ways because
I'm sure
it's fun, and the number of people over the years that look at that and like, oh, I can never do that. It's like, no, really, you can. Yeah. When Kurt and I were first dating, I used to come out and watch him ski all the time. I was always out there. Every Tuesday we have practice, every Thursday is a show. Tuesday nights, I literally sat on the bench on the side there doing counted cross, a fun thing I did. But I was just there to watch. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. I don't know how to ski that well. I'd skied like 5 times in my life. I can't do that stuff. And he tried to talk me into it. I never really I didn't have, I think it was more of a head game actually, because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the practice. It was actually some of the little kids in the club that walked over and started poking at me like, come on, why don't you ski with us? I want you to ski with us. And they kind of, in some ways, get into it. I'm like, I suppose if you guys are doing this and you want to try, I'll try. And now you can't get me to quit. I love it. It's so much fun. It is. We talk about the group as our ski family because it really, the camaraderie within that group, that there's a certain amount of, honestly, physical health and mental health that I get from being in an organization like that, because we are physically active, right? There's that going on, and the camaraderie that's going on there. It's very much individual, but it's also a team sport where we really do rely on each other in a lot of ways, because there's a danger, level of danger that is part of that, right? I mean, we're building these pyramids. I mean, I've gotten some pretty significant injuries from doing this for this many years too. Because if you are like that and there's some goofy happens and you fall, there was one year, not even sure how many years back that was now, probably 6-8 years ago. There was a weird thing where there was a four high like that was up, and we hit some massive waves that we shouldn't have been hitting, but we did. And it shot me out. Luckily, I mean, Alana was small enough. She was the little girl way up on the top of that four high. We saw it coming. They started coming down, but before we could get down, we hit those waves. And luckily, the top girls went backwards, but I went forwards. I landed on a ski. I actually have lost part of the muscle in my leg. Like I was told it exploded is what the term is for part of that muscle. It's gone. So there's some danger that goes on. And I know even with our club, I get a little bit crazy about safety, and some of them don't know history and that stuff happens. And like, I'm kind of the guy that's like, no, we're not doing that. That's dangerous. You need to actually be smart because you can't control everything out there.
You have the thrill seeker gene with a touch of safety to go along with it. I love it.
It's kind of a weird combo.
If you go to the About Us tab on my website where you visited briefly, and scroll down, you'll see that as a martial arts instructor and a former martial arts tournament participant, I've been through the injury mill many times as well. So I understand exactly what you mean. Way back was roamed, I trained with both the USA and Korean Taekwondo Olympic teams.
Oh my goodness. How awesome. That's amazing. How did you get connected?
Anytime you get first place national tournament, you automatically invited to train with one of those units. And so yeah, the military encouraged me to do. I was active duty military at the time. They encouraged me because they wanted me to be an ambassador of goodwill, type, so to speak. And,
that's amazing.
And get some, enable them to get some marketing credits for my participation in that. So that's how that.
To me, I'm hearing a lot of win-win in that. I mean, the military got something out of it. You personally, I would have gotten a lot out of that. I would think, to be able to have an opportunity, and that sounds amazing.
Except for the broken bones and stuff that remind me on rainy days.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, yeah. Wow.
Give you an idea, in training with those two groups, you spend 3 hours first thing in the morning just working on flexibility stretching before you even start doing all of the painful, playful combat stuff. Playful. You said playful. We would run through the woods and do like kicking trees and stuff like that, and we'd be totally spent and exhausted, and Grandmaster Lee or Grandmaster Sun would get us in a very difficult position where we're doing like a cross block like this, and we're down in a long stretch stance, and suddenly it would be story time, and he'd be telling us about how he tested for his 2nd degree black belt when he was in Korea, and his wife and best friend had to carry him up the stairs and put him in an ice bath afterwards. He was so badly beat up and we're holding this position and our bodies are just shaking uncontrollably.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
So yeah, the good old days. A lot of stuff that I'm glad is in the rearview mirror.
But to have those experiences, I mean, when I think world of ability, I mean, we all have abilities, we all have different backgrounds, and we can bring our histories together and share experiences and gain insights. I do appreciate it. Like I say, I appreciate that more than you guys know, that we can actually bring our minds together and all of these different stories and pieces. I'm fascinated. I can't imagine being in that. That's absolutely admirable. And yeah, you can imagine. Or, you know, the friend that was in the sit ski, Chad, he's been in a wheelchair his entire life. That kind of experience, I can't even imagine. I mean, that's one of those things where there was a time when we'd say, hey, let's go out to eat. And his comeback is, okay, well, we're picking a place. He's got to call first. Do they have a ramp? Can he actually get in the building? And it's like, oh my gosh, you actually have to think about that. Stuff I don't, it doesn't cross my mind because I don't have to think about that. I'm lucky in that way that I don't have to. But that's his everyday. It's just a different experience. It's not that one's good or better or right or wrong. That's not that. It's just different, right? And it just makes me appreciate things in a different way. And so with World of Ability, you know what? I know we're getting close to the end here. I'd love to go around the room and just, where are you guys at? For me personally, a very interesting day, a very day, and I really appreciated the conversations here. Just wondering where everybody's at and what's on the top of your mind. We'll go around the room, and then I will flip over and play the song at the end here. "Love Is the Only Way" by Lucy Lynch. I will play that at the end. Moment, go around the room. And I know Lion
Masahamnida, which is thank you in Korean. And Barbara keeps rocking that bathing suit.
Sorry. Right.
I apologize, it looks great.
Thank you.
Making me wish there was warm weather here too. Love that. I'm dreaming of it. So you can see my background, right? That's not where I am.
Come visit me.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I have a guest room with its own bathroom. You could have.
Excellent. Well, so Barbara, actually, I'll give it to you. What thoughts are on the top of your mind?
Top of my mind is I love that song too. It's an excellent song. It's inspiring. It makes you feel emotional. That's what changes the world. It's the artists that make us feel. Right? Yeah, that's been proven again and again. Like even on New Year's and around the world, people singing John Lennon's "Imagine." In churches and Buddhist temples. Even though it's saying like no religion, nothing to kill or die for. But yeah, it touches people and it gets communicated again and again. So I was told, yeah, it's art that really touches the world, yeah, got to make it more. When Abraham Lincoln went to Harriet Beecher Stowe and said, "You're the woman who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin," he said, "You're the person who created the Civil War," because then people were, we got to change this. It touched people, they related. Yeah. So a great song, great. Top of my mind.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Barbara. We always love having you here with us. Thank you, as always. Marianne, I'm going to pass the baton your way. What's on your mind?
Well, I just want to again, amazing here, guest speakers and topics, and how we're adding the music, and so you can actually see the vision and mission of The Acts of Kindness series being brought into movies with sign language characters and soundtrack by local artist Lucy and the Perfect Wave. And she also has some meditative of the Four Elements bandcamp.com. And yeah, so different ways, all ages of the heart with or without disabilities. We want to so go out and play. So, Sue, take it away. So go out and play. Lucy Lynch, love is the only way.
Actually, just before we play that, I'm going to pass her any last thoughts to share with us today, too.
I just wonderful lady letting a guy to be able to make a come for me. So take care. God bless.
Well, thank you so much, Don. Emily, your turn. What's on your mind?
I thought this was a great show. And thank you to Don and Barbara for coming on and Saturdays. So all of you are welcome to join us again anytime. So that's kind of what I have to say at the moment.
Excellent. And again, I just want to share my appreciation to everybody. We will have the song play, and as soon as it's done, we will close up here. So as always, we are here every Saturday in early afternoon, and we are here about 1:30 till 3 o'clock Central Time for World of Ability. And you guys are always welcome to come on in and join us. We're always looking for friends to have some fun with us and join the conversation. Kurt, thank you for setting the stage at the beginning. That's perfect. We should do that more often. You guys are my sincere appreciation, and make sure to, as Marianne says, go out and play. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and play our song here. Make sure I'm sharing sound so you guys can all hear it. Lucy Lynch. Oh my goodness. Got to subscribe to her as well. Lucy Lynch. Play. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. Take a breath. Let it be alright. Take a breath. Let it be enough right now. Let this moment be what it is. Let this moment be your doorway to bliss. Seeking love, seeking you. 'Cause life is you. Finding ways to let your heart beat. Finding ways to let your heart beat. And love is the only way. 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 Love the only way. And then make a move. Let your spirit groove now. Let your heart be open. Let it be alright. And let your love shine bright. Let your spirit fly. Let the moon
Gracias.
That song is in B flat. Nice.
That was perfect. Thank you guys so much. I really
Recording
appreciate
stopped.
you being there. So you brought out the guitar. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's another talent you have.